With Christmas drawing ever closer, we've been getting really festive here, and that includes decorating the house. Now, I don't like to spend a lot of money when decorating, and most of my ornaments and decorations I've had for years. But I do like to add new things each year, which is why I use a lot of greenery from the garden and also from foraging walks to make handmade decorations. And the crowning glory of those decorations is my annual Christmas wreath. With this wreath, I probably spent £1, so about $1.50 to make it. Probably less, because most of the materials were free. And I'm going to show you exactly how I make these. It's 4 easy steps, and by the end, you too will have your own handmade wreath that looks professional, bountiful, and is also pretty eco-friendly. You don't need much to make a big and beautiful Christmas wreath. The first thing is a waterproof wreath base. Metal ones can save time and can be used from year to year. However, making one from forage sticks is fairly simple. For a handmade wreath base, you'll need a small bundle of thin and bendy branches that are at least 2 feet long. The second thing that you need is a pair of secateurs or snips. You'll use these to cut sticks and branches. The third thing that you need is greenery and fresh berries, including evergreen branches, cuttings from shrubs, holly, ivy. I found some snowberries on a walk. And if you have a fresh Christmas tree, you could even take cuttings from the tree in a place that's not conspicuous. Remember that the more colors and textures that you can collect, the better. And try to take cuttings that are 6 to 8 inches long, if possible. The fourth thing that you'll need is heavy-duty forest green string. And the color is important because it helps to disguise the string when you have the foliage on your wreath. You also need a pair of scissors to cut the string. And then optionally, final touch decorations like dried orange slices, pine cones, Christmas ornaments, ribbons, or battery-powered lights. And if you do use those, you will also need some florist wire to help hold the decorations in place. Now, again, you can start with a pre-made wreath base, a metal one, a foam one, or even a willow one if you have one. But they are really easy to whip together using just sticks and string. And what I did is I went out and I collected a bundle of really bendy sticks, and then I started tying them together every couple of inches or so with some string. And that created a length that I could then twist into a circle about 18 inches in diameter. And then I bent one end of the sticks underneath and started weaving it together. And then after that was done, I started putting more string around the edges and adding a bit more in the way of sticks. And in that way, I cobbled together a pretty sturdy wreath base using just free sticks that I found on a walk on a lane near my house. And you could use willow, you could use hazel, anything that you have in your garden or as a resource in your area, use that. You don't have to spend a lot. With the wreath base made, now what I do is I cover the base with greenery. It doesn't matter if it's ivy, moss, some of the evergreen foliage that you've collected to decorate the wreath. You just want something that's going to cover up the wreath base and also add bulk. So wind it around in a circle and then use the string to wrap and bind it to the base. And if you just keep circling the string around and around, it pulls the greenery tighter and tighter. And in the end, what you have is a foliage covered wreath base. Also, find the top of your wreath right now. So put it in position so that you know what the top is and what the bottom is going to be. There's a really common inclination for people making wreaths to start with a base and then start tacking little bits on all around the circle. But that's a mistake. The best and easiest way to make a wreath is to start by making lots and lots of little bouquets. Lots of different textures, evergreen foliage, pine cones, variegated holly and other shrubs, some berries if you can find some out in the garden. Make a little bundle in your hand and then tie it really tightly with string, at least 2 to 3 inches up from the base. And these are what you're going to use to make your wreath. You're going to layer them all around the circle and they will create a really thick and really beautiful wreath. The number of little bundles that you make is up to you and up to how large the wreath is. But once you've made enough, start attaching them from the top of your wreath. So put a little bundle on and then attach it with string on the back, and make sure that the string goes around where that string is on the bundle or just slightly up, and tie a double knot in the back, and that will hold it in place. You do not need to use wire. Then you take the next little bundle and you layer it on the first so that it disguises that string, and then use another piece of string and tie it onto the wreath base. And you just continue this until you have the wreath completely filled. The last bundle can slip just under the first, and then you secure it with a string. It really is as easy as that. There's no faffing about with little bits here, little bits there, hanging off and falling off your wreath when you have it attached to the wall or to the door or to a gate. Also, make sure that you snip off all of the string at the back and flip it around. If you see any little bits that seem a bit bare or need a little bit more foliage, you can slip some in as well, and make sure that you attach that with string. And that is how you make a natural Christmas wreath. And this is beautiful on its own, but you can go to the next step to make it even more beautiful. Decorating your wreath with extras like dried orange slices, which are really inexpensive to make, pine cones, holly berries, even battery-powered lights really is the icing on the cake. And you can attach all of these with florist wire, so really bendy wire, and either thread it through the item or around it. And then once the item is attached, you can either just push it into the wreath, or you can use that bendy wire to wrap it around branches. Now, with making a bow at the top, you can either make a bow and then slip wire through it, or you can tie a bow directly onto the wire. And then once it's attached, you just poke it in or wrap it in right at the top of your wreath, and your beautiful handmade wreath is complete. It looks amazing, and it was so simple to make. I've shown you my really simple and I think quite effective way to make a fresh handmade Christmas wreath. But I think part of the easiness involved in this is because the wreath base is quite cobbled together. It's sticks held together by string. And if you wanted a little bit more of a challenge and you want to create a ring that you can use from year to year and can last, I don't know, this one has lasted maybe 5 years, then I would recommend that you make one of these as well. This is a willow ring, and as you can see, it's not held together with string. It's holding itself together, it's dried out, it's gonna last indefinitely. And I have information and photos showing how to make one of these using long willow switches. So you can head over to my website and see all of that if you'd like to make one of these. But that's completely optional. This wreath base will hold together just fine, and it's just the front that you're really trying to display anyway. Now, if you have any questions on how to make a fresh Christmas wreath, leave me a comment down below. And I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas and happy holiday season. I will be back with another video right before the big day, so I'll see you then. Bye for now.